What's going on, beautiful people? This is the Boeing 737 MAX, and we finally have it in Microsoft Flight Simulator thanks to the team at iFly. Let me tell you this aircraft has seriously gone way above and beyond my expectations, even to the point that I'm considering deleting the PMDG 737. But first, let me take it for a flight and let's check it out. As you can see here, the cabin is nice and clean and ready for our passengers to board, but we'll take a look at that a bit later in flight. This is the flight deck of the 737 MAX with the massive screens in here. That's one of the biggest difference you'll notice in the cockpit from the MAX and the regular 737 is that massive screens back there. We also have an EFB on the left, which we'll start right there. We're going to get the aircraft started. Today's flight is a real-world flight, United 2603, service from San Francisco to Seattle. So I'm gonna go ahead and power on. Oops, I didn't even know you could hide it, but apparently you can hide it. We'll hit power here. We'll initialize our flight. We'll zoom in on the EFB here, and we can go to the systems page, sim menu, and there's a lot of options in here. Again, we'll take a bit more look at this while we're in flight. We're about a 2-hour flight today, so we'll take a closer look at some of these details. But right now, what we want is to go to ground support, and we can see we can actually connect the electrical system, like the ground power unit, the pneumatic air conditioning, and things like that. But it also has native GSX connection. That's what you guys are seeing there on the outside. And that's what I prefer to use for my ground services, so we'll just stick with that. But if you don't have GSX, you can do all this right here in the EFB, and there are a lot of really cool options in here. There's even a pushback option, and on the ACARS menu, you can actually connect with SimBrief. And I'll show you that right now, actually. We'll go back to the main menu. We'll put this on the performance page so we can fill that out when we're ready. And we'll come back over here, we'll get the aircraft powered on. Alright, so first up top, just like any other 737, we start up just same way. There's a battery. Battery's on. We'll get that left fuel pump on just for right now. We'll look up to the top and get our IRS aligned. Do not zoom in. Nav. And nav. There we go. We'll get the window heat on. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we'll go straight to the APU for today. So we'll go to APU start and hold that down for just a couple seconds. And that should just get started up. We'll take a listen. Alright, APU is up. We'll go ahead and get our APU gens on left and right. Doesn't sound too bad, but there is definitely much more to come. Emergency lights set to armed, and I guess I'll take this moment to say this is an early access build, courtesy of iFly, so anything you see may change. I have to say that. Anyways, APU bleed coming on, packs on, left and right. ISO's already on, and that's good for the overhead. We'll get the nav lights on. And as for the overhead, that is it for now. Let's go ahead and clear the master caution, jump into the FMC. Fully functional FMC in the iFly 737 MAX, just like the PMDG and other 737s. So we'll go ahead and go to our init ref page, and our reference airport is Kilo Sierra Foxtrot Oscar. Drop that right there. We'll go to next page. We'll grab our GPS left position. We'll go previous, drop that into our IRS position, just like that. Beautiful. Go to route page, and now this is where that SimBrief integration works out. So we go to flight plan requests. We'll click right here, give it a few seconds, and there it is. Now it says route 1 uplink ready, and we can now load. So hit load. That's going to say loading, and as soon as that is complete, our entire flight plan from SimBrief is now going to be imported into the aircraft. Now, obviously, we could do all this manually if we wanted to, but why would you want to when you can do this? Anyways, we hit activate and execute. Okay, let's move on to our performance. So back to our EFB, and here we'll go to our weight and balance screen, which is right here. And we'll go and start off with the fuel on the right side. We'll go by fuel. And for fuel today, we need 14,820 pounds of fuel to get us to Seattle, Washington. But click right here next to total fuel. And then I'll go to 1, 4, 8, 2, and 0. And we'll hit set MSF fuel. That's kind of misleading, but that's going to set our fuel to the fuel we put here. You could also do these by tank. So we hit set MSFS fuel. That is now set, and we'll go to our center screen, and we can see and confirm we have 14.8 thousand pounds in total. And go over to the passenger page. All right, so you can see here, all of these can be customized. We're just going to put the full load of 178 passengers. That's good to go. And then we'll go to cargo, and we'll just probably take, I don't know, 500 pounds in the front, and maybe another 250 in the back. And we go back to our passenger. You can see that save that. We can hit set MSFS payload, and that will set your passenger and cargo payload. Just like that, we can now hit done and then complete. When we hit complete, that brings us to our performance takeoff page. Super helpful, actually. We'll go to airport search, and then we'll go over to Kilo Sierra Foxtrot Oscar, because we are in San Francisco. And then we'll basically go to search identifier. Now we got San Francisco popping up. We'll click on that, and then we'll go to our runways. For departure today, we're expecting runway 01 left. That's pretty standard for San Francisco. Thrust rating will be just basically regular toga, no derate. Flap config, we'll take off flaps 5. Our condition will be a dry runway. Very nice weather here. Air conditioning will be on. Anti-ice will be off. And the current winds here in San Francisco, 320/12. Outside air temperature in Celsius is currently 28. And then the QNH is 29.90. And then we just click off to the side. That'll justify that. All right, then we'll fill out the anti-ice will be off. Now we have calculate in gray. We'll click on calculate. And now we have our takeoff performance information. Now let's go back to our FMC. We're almost done, guys. And we'll click on the ground weight. That's going to auto-fill that. Planned fuel is 14,800 pounds. And our reserve fuel is 2,000 pounds, so 2.0. And then our cruise wind is 297/046. Our ISA dev is going to be +6. N1 limit, takeoff, and we flaps 5. Get our CG here, 22.8. We'll hit execute. Now we have the trim and our V speeds, which sometimes matches up what we got in the EFB, but we'll stick with what we got in the FMC. But you could copy the FMC data over here and vice versa. Now let's go to departure, because we did not autofill the departure when we imported our flight plan. So we'll go 01 left, and it's going to be the Truckin' 2 via Deadhead, and execute. Back to route. Actually, my bad. Back to departure arrival for Seattle. We can do this later, but I'll do this now. It's going to be the Hawks 7 the arrival via Lima Mike Tango, and we're expecting 16 left at the moment, but that could change. But I know that if we get 16 left, I'm expecting Griffey transition. And execute. And now we're done with all the FMC setup. Alright, we'll go to the top. We'll get our anti-collision lights on. Get our yaw damper on. We'll get all the rest of our fuel pumps on, ready for engine startup. Cannot wait for that. And seatbelt signs on. We'll ping the cabin. And another thing you want to do is just make sure that all the doors are indeed shut here in the EFB. Hit the page up, page down button to go look. You can actually hear that it just shut. It's like our cargo doors are also open, so make sure those are closed and those will shut down low as well. And don't forget the chocks, the stinking chocks. I always forget the chocks. All right, those were removed.
United 116, San Francisco ground, push and start approved, tail northwest.
Copy that, push and start approved, tail northwest. United 116. All right, so that's going to be a basically a turn to the right, nose left, tail right.
Delta 1045, contact tower on 120.5. So long.
All right, brake set, clear disconnect, shows to pin, and let's fire it up Ladies and gentlemen, packs off left and right. ISO is good, and we'll go ahead and hit the ground on engine number 2. Our engine 2 is spooling up. 18%. You can now see it's motoring. And we'll be actually waiting for it to reach around 25. It'll slow down once you see motoring. And the NG, the regular 737, it'll keep climbing and climbing and climbing up.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear.
There it is. It slowed down. It's now kicking back up. Motoring kicked off at 25%. We can go and introduce fuel. And let's take a listen. Did you hear that? Oh my god. Sheesh. Oh man, that was music to my ears. Alright, well we're gonna Jesus Christ. We're gonna pop on the right back. Sorry, wrong one. Yeah, right back. The auto, ISO to off. And then we'll go ahead and start up engine number 1. And we'll listen to this one from the inside of you. Oh yeah, I'm a fan. Let's get this thing on the runway. We got 2 good engines, and we'll go ahead and pop on both our left and right Gen 1, Gen 2. We can now kill the APU. The auto dampers are already on. We'll do our flows here. Fuel pumps are good. Good. Propane popping on. Hydraulic pumps popping on. We'll get the packs on the left on. ISO valve back to auto. APU bleed off. We are cruising at 38,000 feet, I believe, so this is accurate. Collision lights are already on. We'll go ahead and hit our taxi lights, runway turn-off lights, and we'll hit the flaps. Flaps set to 5. And as you can see there, we've already started our flight control check. Free and correct, we are ready to taxi. Alright, so one really cool feature with this aircraft is the airport map. Very detailed airport map, so we definitely, depending on this a little bit, has our gates on there, our taxiway numbers, our runways. Pretty cool, honestly. So we're on Alpha right now.
Information Tango is current.
And we'll make our way over to the other end. Very nice. Beautiful, man. We finally have a Max. Oh man, this is good. This is nice. Alright, let's get our auto brake set to RTO. And make our way over to runway 01 left.
Delta 3561.
Over the tower, Beechcraft 251 Tango.
0.5, when ready for departure.
That's contact tower, when ready for departure, Beechcraft 251 Tango.
United 510, San Francisco ground, continue taxi to gate F11 via Alpha.
Alright, we're approaching our runway, and before we do, I want to switch the right screen over to VSD. And that's actually going to show us the terrain around us. Pretty cool. We'll also zoom that out. we go. We'll also turn on the traffic.
Skyhawk 9 Kilo Charlie, runway 28 left, cleared for
There we
the
go.
option.
And we'll zoom this one out as well. And we are ready to go. This is Mike 1. We're on tower. We have departure program 120.9.
Turbo
And lights on.
Street contact departure.
Going to departure. Thank you and good day. Turbo on you.
There we go. Lights are on for departure. I will say, the taxi.
0, 1, left.
That's pretty cool. The taxiing is a little sensitive for me. I'm just using rudder pedals right now, but we'll see. All right. San Francisco Tower, United 116, holding short 01 left, ready for departure.
Cleared for takeoff.
That's not for me.
Tower, Piper Traffic, go Mike Driver, clear on. Final for runway 28. Right.
United 116, San Francisco Tower, runway 01 left, line up and wait.
01 left, line up and wait, United 116. All right, we are clear to the right. Oh yeah, here we go.
On runway 0, 1, left.
And there is a lineup, and we will hold right there. All right, we are clear for takeoff, and we'll go ahead and hit the toga button and spool them up. We are rolling, and there it is, airspeed alive. A little bit of right rudder to keep us on the center line. 8 knots. V1, rotate. Positive rate, gear up.
Southwest 42 winds 249er at 14 runway 1 left, cleared for takeoff.
Alright. Bit of trim.
United 116, contact departure on 120.9er.
Contact departure, United 116.
At departure on 120.9er. Sky 333, going to 120.9.
Alright, activate LNAV, VNAV. We're still flying it by hand though. Departure, United 116, passing 2,300 for 6,000. Oh yeah, she feels nice. Feels really nice. Keep coming to the right. We'll fly by hand for a bit. That's what I always do, especially with new planes. Get some hand flying time, get us prepared for arrival later on down the line in Seattle. But yeah, it doesn't feel too pitchy. It doesn't feel too sluggish, but it also doesn't feel too sensitive. It feels very natural and kind of like what I would expect a 737 to feel like. The closest comparison obviously is PMDG or Zebo, and it feels a lot like PMDG. I mean, it doesn't feel off at all. Alright, flaps coming up. Here comes 6,000 feet. Autopilot on.
Delta 665.
This will be leveling off here.
Tower on 120.5. Flight level 370.
Climb and maintain flight level 370, United 116.
Thank you.
Skyhawk 9 Kilo Charlie, copy that.
look at that beautiful mountain coming up. This is why I love the route between San Francisco and Seattle. You just cannot go wrong. But yeah, we're cruising at 38,000 feet. And if we look off on our FMC, we're about 293 nautical miles until our top of descent, about an hour away from wheels down in Seattle. But we have a video surveillance camera here on the EFB. Now, these are just pictures, so it's not actually a video feed. We won't see passengers or people doing anything. That would be pretty cool. I'm not sure how that would work. I would love to see it, but you know, not necessary, obviously. A lot of features in this aircraft are really cool, but not necessary. And we're going to show you a few of them. So let's go ahead and get up and take a quick look through the cabin. Be careful not to hit our head. And so doors already open, but before we go through there, we'll take a look at the jump seat, which is going to animate out there, just like that. Also notice there is a mirror right here behind the door. So pretty cool. You know, most airliners and Microsoft have a jump seat with jump seat animation, so nothing super special with that. You may be asking, do the circuit breakers work? No, they do not. I can click on them and nothing does anything, so it doesn't go into that level of detail. But there are failures simulated in the aircraft if you are into that kind of thing. Anyways, we'll move to the captain, sorry, into the galley area. We'll get that door shut behind us, and got the coffee, all that. You guys know what galleys are in aircraft. You know, this is where the flight attendants hang out. If you clicked on these doors, either this door or that door, they do animate out, so they are clickable. So if you're on the ground, you can click on those and open the doors up. We obviously don't want to do that right now because we'd have a rapid depressurization and everybody would fly out of the it'd be a disaster. So that's another cool but unnecessary but really cool and never before done, I don't think, is the lavatory. Yes, it has a fully modeled lavatory with a mirror, got some really cool lighting in here, got a changing table. And even better, the toilet lid comes up. Both of them. That's pretty cool. Like, I don't know why I'm excited about a working toilet, sort of, in an aircraft, but this has actually never been done before. So, in a way, it's innovative, but also not necessary. We have a flush here. That is one thing that does not work. So, not quite study level toilet, but you know, it is what it is, right? We'll go ahead and put the seat down, or the ladies will be mad at us. So go ahead and shut the lavatory. But pretty, you know, it's kind of cosmetic. It's just, you know, for fun. We'll go through here to the first class cabin. Looks very oriental, with the oriental pillows and whatnot. But I'm hoping that you can change this with various liveries. But check this out. If I click right here, we have working and animated tray tables in a 737. We've had this in private jets, we've had this in GA planes, but I've never seen a working tray table in an airliner. And on top of that, it continues to get better. You can actually do any and all of these, right? Do as many of these as you want. And first class usually have their tray tables out with their laptops and their fancy food and drinks, fancy service. But I don't know anything about that. Another cool thing is for us in the back, who ain't got the special first class treatment, you know what I'm saying? All we can do is look out the window. So notice how some of the windows are open and some of them are closed. Well, that's because you can open them yourself. If you click on that, you can open up the window, open the window. I don't like closed windows in aircrafts, and so I always open up every window I can. Now, obviously when you're sitting on the ground, it gets a little hot, you might close them, but I like to have them open. And, oh, wow, what time. Look at that. Bro, the beauty of Microsoft Flight Sim. Let's take it in for a second. Wow. Continues to amaze me every time we play this. And this is not even 2024, this is 2020. It's only gonna get better from here. But anyways, oh, that is such a screenshot. Look at that. Gorgeous. Okay, we gotta move on. There's more things to show you guys back here. Of course, if the first class get the animated tray seats, you also get animated tray seats back here in economy class. And if we go back here a few seats and look to the front, we can, there it is. We click on the back of that tray table. That tray table pops out just like that. And of course, open that window up as well. So pretty cool. Again, never seen this before in an airliner in Microsoft Flight Sim. So let's continue the things that I've never seen before. Lighting is very nice in the cabin. They can be customized as well from up front. I actually don't know how to do that, but it can be customized. The top and the bottom, which is pretty cool. Exit lighting and all that. I feel like I'm doing a safety briefing for a flight attendant, but you guys know what I'm saying. Also, if you forget something up top, you can go ahead and open up the baggage compartment and get your things out. Just make sure you close them back up. Again, very impressive. I will close that because that is very dangerous to leave those open like that. But pretty cool. I think that's pretty much it of the things that kind of animate and you can kind of do in the back. Again, you can open up all these doors here, so plenty of lav space. Do not create a line in the back of the galley, please. Flight attendants got to do their work, but pretty cool, man. Very nice, nicely modeled 3D cabin with animated kind of just cosmetic things. And you know me, you know, when I'm flying, I typically, you know, will sit back here and I'll just hang out and just look out the window and enjoy the view. And that's what we're gonna do. On the way to Seattle, about an hour away, hoping to get there before the sun does and have a nice little sunset arrival in Seattle in the Max, which so far has been flying beautifully. Super excited to have this aircraft in the sim, and I'm looking forward to flying it more. And before we arrive in Seattle, let's take a look at some of the features in the EFB. So under the sim menu, as you can see, there are failures, as I kind of mentioned earlier, and you can actually add failures. You can set it to have random failures throughout your flight, and you can clear all failures. If I go to add failures, we'll get a quick look at some of the systems that you can fail. You have the air systems, anti-ice, rain, auto flight, communications, electrical power, engines, and APU. In fact, let's click on one just for the fun of it, and you can just kind of really get down to just like even like engine oil filter clog for number 2. Like, I mean, it's pretty detailed and specific. You can also do save and load. I believe this is for your flight plan. I don't think you can do like a mid-session save and load it that way, but I could be corrected on that. Also, we got panel styles. You can change the style of the panels in the aircraft, in the interior. Different CDUs, runway awareness and advisory systems, multifunction display can be customized like this. Again, you can kind of play around with this when you get the aircraft, but very nice. Miscellaneous things can be changed out. You can have it set to auto set your fuel pumps, time compression modes, pause sim before top of descent, all that stuff that flight simmers kind of need. There's also the cabin sun visors, emergency lighting, floor lighting and whatnot, which is really nice. And of course, you can switch between the metric system and the US system. They also have 3 different engine variants that you can use for the Max. You got the LEAP 1B 2.5, 2.8, and 2.7. And you can change your joystick sensitivity. There's also a pushback functionality, which obviously I can't use right now because we're in the air, but that does exist for those who don't use, you know, one of the other third-party pushback programs. We also have ground support, which we looked at earlier before we left, and we have our refuel and our doors panel to open and close doors from right here in the cockpit. Again, the ACARS menu is just for you to sign in to SimBrief so you can link your account. I don't want to reveal my details of my account, so I'm not going to click on that right now. And back to the home page. Again, we have our airport map, which you've seen, performance, terminal charts, which I haven't actually figured out how to get working yet. It might not be working in this early release build, but we've seen the performance page, and we'll be using that throughout our flights. I'm not going to explain that, but I will admit that I'm very impressed, and I was not, expecting such a fully functional and fully feature-rich EFB on launch of this Max from iFly. So, freaking kudos and cheers to them for that. Very impressive. Alright, I was waiting for it, and we have reached our top of descent, and the VNav is descending all on its own. All I had to do was pre-select my bottom altitude, or an altitude lower than the altitude we're at. And once we reach the top of the descent marker here on the FMC, the aircraft decided to start descending on its own, as it should. So we're descending now into Seattle via the Hawks 8 arrival. And so far so good. We'll see if it follows the altitude restrictions. But so far it looks like it's going to do exactly that. So we'll keep an eye on it. So just looking a bit closer here at the VSD here, you can actually see where the VSD, where the aircraft is expecting us to actually approach the P-Terra waypoint, where we're actually supposed to be at or above flight level 220. That's why we see that pink arrow pointing up right there. We just need to be above that waypoint to be within limits of this arrival. And this little green dot, I believe, is kind of like more like our velocity vector, for a lack of better words. It's kind of showing roughly where we're going to be at that time. And again, down here you can see the terrain coming up on us.
1586 is at Air Canada 1055. Contact Vancouver Center 133.7.
Vancouver Center on 133.7. Thanks for the AGC Air Canada 1055. Good night.
All right, so far so good on the altitude restrictions. The aircraft is following the VNAV honestly perfectly and smooth. No oscillations, no kind of glitchiness. Looking pretty good. We got the altimeter set 3006. We'll be landing 16 right. That's given to us by ATC. And if I click on the copy FMC data here, that'll copy in everything here from my FMC, which is showing Seattle 16 right. The winds are not put in, but we have to put that in manually, which I will do right now. So that's good to go there. It already has our landing weight automatically put in, our VREF to add 5. Reverser config will do all operational. Flap config will do flaps 30. Check out that night lighting out there, pretty sweet. Aircraft AC config, we'll keep the AC on. Anti-ice, we won't have any anti-ice, we'll leave that off. The brakes, we'll do auto brake setting to 3. I guess we could do 2. We'll do 2. And then this one is non-normal configuration. No failures, no issues, so we'll leave it set to none, and we'll hit complete down at the bottom. And now we're just missing the runway condition. It's dry, no rain, no snow, none of that. So we'll hit that, and now we have calculate. We can go ahead and calculate, and that'll give us kind of some of our information here. Distance required, our VREF speeds 146, which is VREF 30 plus 5. So that's what we got going on. And now we'll jump back to our FMC and just make sure that data is the same there. So 146 is our VREF, 141 for flaps 30. I'm not sure why it's showing up different, but I'm not too worried about it right now. And then lastly, as we dip down into the clouds, we get our landing lights on. Our wing lights are already on. Yep, everything else is good up there for the time being. We'll just get our runway turn-offs and taxi lights on. I just always forget to do that after landing, so I just do it like right now. But what we're going to do is put our ILS data in here. So we'll go down here. We'll hit mode. That goes to ILS, and we want 110.75 for the ILS on 16 right. We'll hit that right there. And the CRS is 164, but we have our ILS program on the left side. If we want, we can do it on the right. I'm only going to do it on the left side today. And we will set our course to 164. And there we go. We are all configured for landing in Seattle.
Delta 89 Echo, advise you have information Alpha at Seattle. Expect the ILS 16 right approach.
All right, and we're getting radar vectors now onto the ILS for 16 right. Speed brakes are extended. Slowly start getting slowed down.
Phoenix 5-1 short of 14 right.
Beautiful. There is downtown Seattle right there.
Wind. Calm, runway 14 right, cleared for takeoff.
This is
14
nice.
right, cleared for takeoff. Phoenix 5-1.
This is gonna be so freaking sick. I'm excited. I'm very excited.
116, turn right heading 130, join the 16 right localizer.
Right heading 130, join the 16 right localizer, United 116. Alright, so we're gonna switch heading to 130, that's to the right. And we'll also join the localizer. We'll hit approach mode right now as we're about to fly straight through it. See right there, that pink magenta line is the extended center line of 16 right. And we'll keep turning until we get 130 or until we actually capture that. There it is. VOR loc has been capped. That pink diamond is a glide slope. Everything's working kind of as expected. We'll start getting us slowed down. I do have a visual of the runway. The lights, the city lights of downtown Seattle are coming to life. Look at that. Oh my God, look at that view. And the ship at the dock. All right, let's land this plane.
United 116, 4 miles from Finca, cleared Alice 16 right approach. In 8,000.
All right, and there it is. Glide
Cross
slope
image
is showing in the green, which means captured. We're following that magenta pink diamond, and we have single channel ILS looking good. We'll go ahead and slow her down even more and kind of get closer to our approach speed, which is 141. That's set. Flaps looking good. Go flaps 15 and gear down. Auto brakes be set
United
to
116.
2.
Connect tower 119.9er.
Over the tower, 119.9er, 9116. All right, we're gonna fly by hand from here about 1,500 feet.
Spot 66, which is straight
These
ahead.
epic clouds.
Oh, okay, no worries. Straight ahead. Alright.
My controls and Seattle Tower, United 116 on the ILS 16 right.
United 116, Seattle Tower, good evening. Runway 16 right, clear to land.
16 right, clear to land, United 116. All right, flaps coming down to 30. We are hand flying it. We are a little low. One of my first landings in this aircraft, but I'm not gonna make an excuse. I really enjoyed the takeoff. It felt really nice, felt proper, felt natural. It felt kind of like a plane should feel, at least how an airliner should feel. Definitely has weight to it.
6 right.
Look at that. Even knows what the runway we're approaching. That's cool. But yeah. All right, so
400.
I'm gonna take the auto throttle as well.
Right.
All right, we're fully in control. A little bit of power.
Flight slow.
A little low. We are clear to land.
Flight slow. Flight slow.
A little bit of wind there. It is gusty. I just remembered that.
Flight slow.
I'm feeling it.
100. Flight slow. 50. 40. Flight 30. Slow. 20. 10.
Oh, yeah. And there's the reversers. 80 knots. We'll kill the reversers and manual braking, and we'll take the first exit. Guys, welcome to Seattle and our first Boeing 737 MAX full flight in Microsoft Flight Sim. This is a really freaking cool plane, man. Oh man, I definitely misjudged iFly, and they were under the radar for me. But this I am gonna be flying this plane for days, weeks, months, years to come. Would I recommend this aircraft? 100%. I don't have a price. I don't have a release date. But whatever they're asking for it is most likely worth it. I mean, obviously within reason. But yeah, I'm extremely impressed by this aircraft. I can't recommend it enough. I have very little bad things to say about this thing. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was informative. It was valuable. I can't see myself flying the regular NG anymore, honestly. I love PMDG. Don't get me wrong, I love PMDG. They're reliable. They're dependable. They have great aircraft. But I mean, this is a 737 MAX, man. So I'll definitely continue to fly the 777 and, you know, some of the other variants and whatnot. But I can't see myself flying that anymore. Might have to install that baby.
On November.
We'll
and
see.
Then taxi to parking via Bravo.
All right, cross 16 left via November, and then parking via Bravo, United 116. Thank you very much.